Good evening, everyone. God, that was super quick tonight. It really went, that really went live, like really, really quickly. Good evening, everyone. Never mind the buy books. Joined this evening. Always get the finger wrong, with the wrong way. Karen Huston has joined me this evening. Good evening, Karen. Hello, everybody. How are you?
I'm extremely well, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. We were just having a little chat beforehand. We're both like a bit crazy with everything that's kind of going on. Jamie's joined us watching via YouTube. Evening, Jamie. Actually, I'm just going to quickly get this up on my phone. I do it every single time, which I go through and put the wrong thing. So I'm just going to wait for a few people to jump on. The notification goes out. Holly's joined us. Evening, Holly. Let's have a quick look, get the details up. So, well, just before we kind of kick off, I normally sort of say to everyone, been asking like a question before we get started, but I just wait for a few more people. There we go. I've got them up now. I can see people. Oh, why do I always do this? Bit of a delay tonight. Evening, Janet. Evening, Callum. David, bonjour. Hayden, evening. Facebook user, I think that's Ruth. Yeah, so obviously Karen's joined us tonight, and I think what's really nice actually is the last few weeks we've had lots of special guests on and been talking about different people's Amazon's business and things like that. And it just seems like forever we've just had a never mind the buy box where we can just talk about Amazon, just with everything that's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, I can't believe she's invited me the week after Mark. I can't believe that. Like, how am I going to follow that?
No. You know what? Actually, if there's anyone that can follow Mark, it's definitely you, Karen. 100%. The Oracle of Amazon. Everyone, you know everything. So Hayden said, no prepping today. No, not today. I did it like once. I did it once at the weekend and never again. I'm never doing it. Janet said she had her first IP claim this week. Thanks for everyone's help. Back to being calm again. I know Janet has been in touch with the team because obviously had a bit of an issue on the IP side of things, but obviously and very, very luckily has OAD, so has the suspension safeguard. So we know that she's in very good hands from that point of view. So fingers crossed we'll get that sorted. Karen will get that sorted for you as quickly as possible. Matt's joined us, but I think a worthy person to follow Mark, definitely. But yeah, I just thought it was ages. It just seemed like ages we hadn't had like a catch up with everything that's been going on with Amazon. We are in Q4. It's crazy. We're in COVID lockdown Q4. It's payday. It's Black Friday weekend. It's going nuts. Yeah, perfect time to, I think, have you on and we can just chew the fat and talk a little bit about Amazon. Yeah,
definitely. No, I'm excited to be here. It's great. I love it. Feels
absolutely. And I think what is good now, because more and more people do want to come on Never Mind the Buy Box. Obviously, there's such a wide variety of guests of people that that want to come on. When we first started this, I kept, hitting you up and Matt and everyone like that. And, I was like, oh, come on with me this week. But people want to come on now. So we don't get to see our regular contributors as much as we'd like. But when you do come on, it's very much appreciated, obviously.
Yeah, no, it's great. And it's, but the guests have been brilliant, haven't they? You've had some amazing guests on. It's been really, really good.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been really, really lucky in some of the people that have agreed to come on. And there are, I'm booked right up for Never Mind the Buy Box till the end of January with people.
Wow.
With different people. So we've got a wide variety of different guests coming on. Like I said, because it's becoming more and more popular, more and more people are hearing about it, more and more people want to come on and they're seeing people enjoying the experience of doing it. And people just want to come on and share their experience. And it's really cool. As everyone knows, I feel really blessed to do this. This is the thing out of my whole week I enjoy the most doing. I absolutely love it. And it's something, even when I was poorly last week, and I nearly didn't do last Tuesday. Matt was on standby to do it for me because I had this horrible allergic reaction. And the next day, on the Tuesday, I was like, do you know what? I don't feel great, but I love doing it so much. I'll just be kicking myself if I don't do it because I miss it when I don't do it. So yeah, it's crazy.
No, yeah, it's definitely good fun to do.
Yeah, definitely. So Matt's joined us, Joanna, Fran, Maria, who else is on there? Sean's got his money.
Right.
Hooray, brilliant. Hopefully that means that you're getting back on the buying train. Kellyanne Smith's joined us as well. John Stevenson, everyone's joined it. Right, so before we get started, because we've got a few updates to go through first of all.
Yep.
But before we get started, I am feeling better now. Thank you very much. I sort of turned a bit of a corner last couple of days, so thank you for that, David. Just before we get started, I start asking a question with everyone, really. Just give me an answer. So last week, I think I asked if people were still selling on Europe. So this week, if you can just let me know in the comments, or let me and Karen know, is everyone feeling at the moment that this is starting to become the best Q4 ever? Just want a yes or a no, just a simple yes or no. Let me know in the comments. Do you guys feel that this is becoming the best Q4 ever? Because certainly from my end, that's what it feels like already.
Definitely.
It's the switch has been turned on this week. And just while we're waiting for everyone to make a comment, I think you've experienced that, Karen, with the post that I've just seen Matt make about Profit Protector Pro. So I don't know if you want to let everyone know what's happened there, because you've literally broken the internet.
Yeah, we broke the bank as well. Yeah, we literally did. We've broken the internet. It's been so busy. So absolutely, if I get a vote about how good this Q4 is, I'm definitely saying yes, because I can see that through Profit Protector Pro, there's so much repricing going on, much repricing, that we've just spent an extra £24,000 on like upgrades for the next year for PPP to make it super quick. And it's gone from, being an averagely timed repricing, which was happening this morning, to being like, whoa, super quick. So we are really excited about it,
Yeah, I mean, you guys, there's no doubt about it. When something goes wrong, because these things happen, don't they? Or something, with software, with technology, that type of thing, there are circumstances that are outside of your control, obviously, when certain things happen. But one thing that you guys always do is you are so reactive quickly to it. And not only reactive, I know you spend so much time being proactive in a lot of the things that you put in place, that when something does happen, and everyone understands when things happen, obviously, but when something does happen, then the first thing you do after that thing happens is then put something else in place behind the scenes to make sure it doesn't happen again. And that will cost money and time.
Yeah, I think it's just, we planned for Q4 and we've got it all worked out, what we needed to do and everything else. But it was even bigger than we expected it to be. So we've just straight away got on it and added the extra servers and all the databases and everything that is needed to make it, steam through Q4. So it's going to be absolutely front line roller steaming through it. So it's doing it super fast.
Yeah.
Brilliant. PPP's always been amazing. It's always been very good. But Q4's a different beast, isn't it? And you can plan for it, but just like as sellers, it doesn't matter how well you plan for things, things happen and it goes really mad and goes bonkers. And straight away we were there and put it on. We thought, no, we want it to be super quick, the whole of Q4 and, into next year as well, because we've got big plans for Profit Protector Pro. So we're super excited about some of the features we're working on and stuff like that that's going in. So they're all going to take, a lot of power to make them work well. So, we're very happy to do it. So, lots of money spent. We've broken the bank as well as the internet.
Yeah, no Christmas for the Webleys or the Hustons this year, I'm afraid. They've spent it all on Profit Protector Pro.
yeah, definitely.
No problem there. I probably... someone will probably ask this question. Obviously, I know it was actually asked on Matt's post, but I literally logged on, so I'm going to ask you live anyway. So, any news on the custom strategies, when they'll be coming?
Okay, well, what's coming first is automated minimums and maximums.
Yeah.
So that's been in beta now for about a month, I would think. So we've been testing it a lot. We've had a lot of feedback. We've gone away. We've added extra things. We've done extra things. So, we've put it back out into beta today. So the change has gone back to the beta testers today. and that's going well so far. Just got to fix the last few bits and pieces, then that will go live. So that will be first, and that I would hope will be within the next week or so. That should be able to go live. Custom strategies is probably 90% built, but we've got some more work to do on that before we send it out to beta, and we've got a lot of testing to do on that before we send it out to beta. So that's not going to come just yet, but we're, it's there. It's going really, really well. And also in PPP, we want to the next feature after that. So that's 2 features, and the third feature that we want to add that's on the list for immediate action sort of thing is one that keeps the clients updated about what's happening with their repricing. So at the moment, they don't, Profit Protector Pro does so much in the background that people don't realise it's doing. And I think that's a real shame, because they don't realise how much is going on and how much PPP and how busy it is for the client in the background all the time. So we're going to add in something that will show the client what PPP is doing and the action it's taking on their behalf, so they can check what's happening and what's going on with ASINs and with SKUs and such like. So there are 3 big features that we've got going into Profit Protector Pro, hopefully very soon. As I say, where the custom strategies took a lot longer than we expected to be built, a lot longer, but the software, you learn all the time, don't you? Because we've never built a custom strategy thing before. So it was our first build. It took longer than we anticipated, but that's okay, because we've put a lot of work into it, a lot of money into it, a lot of work into it. So I know when it comes, it's going to be absolutely amazing. But it's auto min-max first, then custom strategy, and then like the one that would keep clients updated about what PPP is doing on their behalf. So yeah, I'm excited about them, really excited about them.
And I imagine actually the third feature that's going to let them know what's kind of going on behind the scenes will help contribute to them being to set out their custom strategies and things like that. That will probably have an impact on what they can see is going on with certain types of products. And I imagine that feature would be really, really useful for products that they're selling over and over again, replenishable, so they can pick a pattern of what that particular, I suppose, the habit of that product in the way that it sells.
Yeah, I think it will help people decide which is their favorite algorithmic strategy and stuff like that as well. So it'll help them work out what's their favorite and what's right for each SKU. So I'm really excited about all of those. I can't wait to bring those out. I love it when we bring new features out. And
absolutely.
Profit Protector Pro's got a full-time development team, so there's always new features. We're working on it. We're always working on something, always, constantly.
I know you are, guys. You're brilliant. There's always something new, always something added. If it's not Spybot Pro, it's Profit Protector Pro. If it's not Profit Protector, it's OAD. You're always doing something. So thank you so much. I know everyone's really appreciative of that. Just going back to when I asked the questions. So Salvatore, evening. I don't think anyone said no to best Q4 ever, apart from Nikki, who has been ill. Sorry to hear. I know you had been poorly, so wishing you get well soon, and hopefully things start to turn a corner for you. There is still time left in Q4, but just really going on from what Sean has said, that I think that Q4 is going to be different this year, and I do think we will see a little bit of an extension into Q1. And do you know what? January is not actually a bad month. There are worse months in the year selling on Amazon than January, and it really depends.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, in terms of sales volume and things like that. So it really does depend on people's strategies and what they're doing now, and it's a really weird year this year, and there are no guarantees this year. All we know is it's going to be bloody busy. That's all we've known, is that it's going to be crazy. And that's what's happened. But in terms of, as someone who, me, I dive deep into a lot of the data and the information about selling on Amazon and things like that. I found this whole year really fascinating from like a sales psychology point of view, and it's information that we can't really use moving forward because it's a blip in the system essentially, but it's information we can use to determine how people behave in certain ways when it comes to this type of situation. But fingers crossed it doesn't happen again. Obviously, you know, we're not wishing it happens. So it's been a weird year, but I think it's going to continue on a little bit into next year. But what was really interesting was I was having a conversation with someone who was this was just a couple of days ago. So it was one of the mums up the school who was the classic example of a lockdown Amazon convertee. Never shopped on Amazon before, became an Amazon subscriber during lockdown because they couldn't get anything else. Doesn't really care what they pay for things, paying through convenience, just to have it next day, blown away by Amazon, the system, and now converted for life, you know, regardless. So it's changed so many people's shopping habits. It really has. And I think that's going to continue moving forward.
I think you're right. I think there will be people that have discovered Amazon that weren't using Amazon before that will stick around and will continue to shop online. You know, I think you're absolutely right. I think it will, because the more people shop online, the more it's going to decimate the high street as well. So the less opportunity there is to be going out into the high street, which, you know, is a massive shame for our high streets, but it's, you know, a good thing for Amazon sellers because it gives them the opportunity to make the most of that. There's always, you know, pros and cons to everything in life, isn't it? It's always yin and yang, positive and negative.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, at the end of the day, the high street was on a bit of a stay of an execution. Essentially, it was always going to happen. Certainly in the area that I live in, you know, we're a very tourist area, of course. We get a lot of tourists in the summer and things like that. A lot of grockles, as we call them. And grockles.
I've never heard that expression. I'm a southerner and I've heard that expression.
Haven't you? Yeah, no, it's what we call grockles down south, call them grockles. And so a bit like muggles, but grockles. But so we get a lot of tourists. But what's interesting, in a very affluent town where we live, in the south of England, and great nightlife, all these different areas, are Paul High Street suffered horrendously. And even before all of this, it was going through this regeneration where they're building like a massive, or they were, whether they are now, like this big complex of cinemas and that type of thing. So I think naturally over the next 10 years, we were going to see the transformation of the high street as we know it. And I think, fortunately, whatever way you look at it, I suppose, it will bring growth and it will bring new jobs and new opportunity to the area. What is essentially a dying market, maybe it's just sped it up a little bit. I don't know. And I don't know if it is such a bad thing, because hopefully it might bring that opportunity a bit sooner.
Yeah, let's hope so, because we don't want people out of jobs and in trouble, do we? That's not what we want. So let's hope it does.
No, definitely. So Holly says she wouldn't be without her Prime now. Definitely. And Paul's with me. Grockles. There we go.
Oh, well, you learn something every day. Every day is a school day, eh?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So one of the other things I wanted to talk about tonight, given the opportunity to do it, is well, let's talk about suspensions first of all, before we move on and talk about Europe. So what's going on in the world of suspensions at the moment? I thought it seemed a little bit busier on the suspension front. I'm not saying this to scare people or anything like that, but I think it's important to openly talk about suspensions so people don't fear them, because so many people contact me, and I'm sure it's the same for you, Karen, where they say, I don't know if I want to start selling or because I don't want to get suspended.
Yeah. It's a real shame, that is. It's a real shame. You know, it's suspensions, yes, they're scary when they happen, but, you know, at the end of the day, most people don't get suspended. So I think people need to bear that in mind. Most people don't get suspended, or if they do, it's a short blip and not a major thing. Of course, you've got your horror stories, and you've got your horror stories in whatever subject you pick in life. There's always people that have had a really hard time, or people that have been unfairly treated. But at the moment, we seem to see Amazon being fairly reasonable on the whole. There's always they're being actually fairly reasonable, but there's a lot of IP stuff going on. Right. IP seems to be the main issue at the moment. Seems to be a lot of that. I don't know if that's the build up to Q4 happening, but there's a lot of IP issues.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, we're not seeing so many people being suspended who haven't done something that's a little bit naughty.
Yeah.
So most of it, as I say, is IP issues, which obviously is not necessarily anybody doing anything naughty, because it's very difficult to navigate that whole IP issue.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Yeah, so we've been working on those and working on whatever comes in, of course, helping clients. But as I say, it's a lot of it is IP based. If anybody, client or not, whoever you are, if you get an IP claim, make the first thing you need to do, or the first thing you need to do is not panic. The second thing you need to do is do some research very quickly. And I don't mean spend very long doing it, but just check where the emails come from. Check that you really think that that's a genuine thing, because there's quite a lot of people being naughty and sending other sellers messages about causing trouble, and new sellers won't necessarily know that that's not always the real case. So you always have to be aware of the fact that someone might be trying to pull the wool over your eyes a little bit. If it's come from Amazon, then that's not the case. So if it comes from Amazon, straight away remove your stock, close and delete your listing, because you just want to protect your account as much as you can. And no, there's no point in leaving your stock there and trying to argue the case, because at the end of the day, if you have accidentally or meaning to, whatever, if you've sold a brand that is protected and they do protect their IP rights, there's no point in arguing with them to some serious degree with Amazon, because you can't always win that case. And you've got to remember when to poke the bear, as I usually say. There's times when it's a good idea to poke the bear and argue your case, and there are times when that is good. And there's times when that's not the right thing to do. So don't panic. Make sure if it's not from Amazon, don't assume it's real. So do your due diligence and find out and check it out. And you can even talk to Amazon about that. If that happens, you can even send it to Amazon and ask for their opinion on it, and they'll often tell you whether there's something that you need to take or action you need to take. But don't assume it's always going to be a case of everyone's legit, because unfortunately there's people in the world that don't want to share their listing with you, and they find ways of making it getting trying to get you booted off, which is a shame, but it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, Karen.
No, go on.
No, I was going to ask the difference, because this is something people do come across a lot. I was going to ask the difference between, if you could explain the difference between an IP claim and an actual IP infringement being received.
Okay. Well, if you get the email from Amazon that says that you have, it depends what the email from Amazon says, in fairness, because you'll get different emails from Amazon. Some of them will just say that you've infringed the rights of somebody else, and they'll give you the email address of the person to contact. And that is very much Amazon, and they don't really necessarily particularly want to be involved in that. So they're giving you the person to contact. In an ideal world, you'd contact that person and they would withdraw that claim. But the chances of that happening is pretty remote. It's pretty unusual for that. If they've gone through the process of reporting you to Amazon or doing anything like that, the chances of them then, taking it back and saying, "Oh, okay, then it's all right, don't worry about it," is pretty unlikely. It's always worth doing it. It's always worth asking, because you just never know. You never know.
You don't get.
Exactly. But just accept you're probably unlikely to get anyway. So there's definitely something to bear in mind.
Don't ask, you don't get, but you probably won't get.
So I think that's the first thing. So if you've got one of those and you've got a brand and the brand's not, you need to close and delete, you need to remove your stock and close and delete your listing, because it's not worth risking your Amazon account to sell 180. And I don't care how much profit it's giving you, it's just not worth risking your Amazon account for, because gone.
No. I was just going to say, but that doesn't always end in suspension, does it?
No, it often doesn't. It doesn't very rarely ends in suspension. And that's one of the ones where you've got to think about whether you're going to poke the bear or not, because if they've gone to the trouble of going to Amazon and complaining about you and going all through the right channels, the chances are they're not going to back down with it. So if you don't have the right, and you don't have a letter from the brand telling you that you can sell that brand, and you have sold that brand, you've made a mistake, and okay, didn't mean to do it. But when I've seen people like almost get themselves suspended because they then start trying to appeal that, and they keep going on and on and on and on at Amazon, and it's like, hang on a minute, you're guilty of what you've been charged with. You've not been suspended. You've got to know when to poke the bear and when to leave it alone. So, it's not always a good idea to challenge every email from Amazon. It shouldn't be an automatic, let's challenge it. If you've got a brand that's causing trouble, and they've gone to the trouble of doing it all the way through Amazon and doing it all professionally and properly and all of that, move your stock, close and delete your listing, forget about it, move on. It's not worth your time in constantly doing it, because it will come off your account after a little while anyway. Because and there's those ones that really aren't worth poking the bear for, because it's not going to cause you any drama in your account, particularly. If you keep doing it, it will do, of course. But the odd one or two who's not going to make a huge amount of difference in your account, it will fall off after a few months anyway. So know when to poke that bear. But obviously, if you've got someone that's messaged from BillJobs.com or whatever, and just some random email that isn't through Amazon, and they're just saying you've got to remove your stock, then I would say, you need to do some due diligence on that. Don't automatically assume that you really need to do that, because if they haven't gone through Amazon, why not? If they've genuinely got a reason to stop you selling their product, why haven't they gone through Amazon? If I had my own product and it was all legit and I didn't want anybody else selling it, I'd go through the proper channels. I wouldn't go from Gmail and email them and say, look, I'm giving you a chance before I tell Amazon about you. I don't think so. It's just not the way professional brands work.
No. And I think in that case, if anyone ever approached me or that ever happened to us, the way that I would certainly deal with it is I would just probably lower my price a little bit, sell through the stock, and then probably not stock them again. I probably wouldn't continue to stock them, because there is obviously they're funny, and I am a firm believer in, do you know what, there's enough opportunity out there. It's like the same with retail arbitrage. If you go into a shop and they don't want you to do it, there's no point standing there and getting funny and saying you should be happy with my business. There's loads of opportunity. Just walk away. Not worth it. Absolutely.
It's like the people that message and say, oh, Spybot Pro says something's red. Can I sell it anyway? Because I can make £10 profit per item. I'm like, no, don't do it. If it's red, we know for a fact that they have caused issues on people's accounts. There's so many opportunities on Amazon. You don't need to sell ones that are going to cause you trouble on your account. You want to try and keep your account as clear and as healthy as possible, because that's gonna help you keep a better business and run a better business and a more professional business. And I get the argument. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit. I do get the argument where a seller's maybe been selling something for 3 years, then it's turned Spybot Pro, and maybe they've got a more experienced account, and maybe they haven't had the bot pick something up or the claim or something like that. I do get that argument, but I still don't think it's worth it, because I think then if you have got the more experienced account, you've got more to lose. Absolutely. If that makes sense. So I wouldn't. I think it's one of those things. And by the way, guys, whenever you do see those type of opportunities and it's red on Spybot Pro, the reason why the opportunity exists is because most sellers are staying away from it, and that's why the opportunity exists, because Spybot Pro is without a doubt the most used analysis tool to indicate that type of thing, and therefore it's warning people not to sell that particular brand, because yes, it might have resulted in a suspension, yes, it might have been a claim, yes, it might have been something like, but there's something off about it. And when it comes to Amazon, it's such a volatile platform, it's not worth it. No, it's not worth it. When you get suspended, it's very difficult to deal with the people who are in the seller performance team and such like, because it's every email that goes out from Amazon to do with a suspension has to be approved by their legal department. And I've said this before. So when you deal with any suspension, all you get is just a templated email. It doesn't even address the points that you make. You just get a templated email all the time because of the fact they don't want to have to go through the process of having every email approved by their legal department. So they just send out templated responses, which makes, and you have to guess what the situation is. And it's all right when you're dealing with them, excuse me, all the time like we do, then you get it. But otherwise, sorry, excuse me.
That's all right.
Already. So, well done, you're right.
Well, no, I'll give you a few seconds just for your voice to recover then. Just to look at a few comments, actually. I think Janet has, sort of like said she had an IP issue, so she messaged me and then I told her to message you. Obviously, it was a bit of a chain thing. Sue's obviously been having these ongoing issues, that we hope get resolved for you kind of as soon as possible. But it's a fair question. She asked, do people ever win with Amazon? They do. Yes, I know they do, absolutely. But there are times, unfortunately, where you get these kind of unique cases where it just goes on and on and on and on. I'm not trying to scare you or anything like that, Sue, but I saw one in the group, it might have been Bible Pro or something the other day, where someone said, kind of 18 months. And I'm not trying to scare anyone or anything like that whatsoever, but unfortunately, it just happens sometimes, and there's nothing anyone can do about it.
No, it does happen sometimes, and it all depends on what's happened and why the person has been suspended. And it all depends on whether it's something Amazon is prepared to forgive at the end of the day. That's basically the decision that they're making. So they'll make that decision probably fairly quickly, and then you'll have to jump through some hoops if they've decided they will forgive you by doing the right sort of plan of action, done in the right way and asking the right questions and all the rest of it. Or they'll decide they're just not going to forgive you, and then very little of what you do then starts to make very much difference. Yeah, because they've just decided that they're not going to forgive you. But having said that, it is always worth hanging on in there. Don't just close your account and everything else, because I have seen situations where people have been, as you say, have been unsuspended many, many months later because Amazon then decide to reconsider it and they unsuspend them. So I have seen that happen. So it was always worth hanging on in there, because I have seen that happen, definitely.
Yes, unfortunately, we just wish Amazon would be more transparent in the way that they deal things, but obviously it just sucks or not. And I know Sue's just asked another question. When do you discover whether they forgive you or not? It's no answer to that, is there?
It's how long is a piece of string? You just, it will come up at some point. They will correspond with you at some point, because there is an end point. And there is an email that you get from Amazon that is an end point. And it's very clear it's an end point, because it's very much, you may not sell on Amazon. We're not going to respond to you anymore. We don't wish to talk to you anymore. Goodbye. Yeah. And it's very, very clear that that is the end point. And until then, the chances are that something might still happen, but you get to that end point. And I think we just missed a message from David as well.
Yeah, I was just looking at that one, actually. That's the one I was going to come on to next. So he was saying he got an IP claim and the brand owner did agree to retract it.
Fantastic. That's why it's always worth trying.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hayden's gone on to say that, it's so tempting on those ones that are read on Spybot Pro. But, Hayden's a seller, hasn't been selling for too long, but, even he knows it's not worth the risk. If you want longevity in Amazon, then it's not going to be worth the risk. Definitely not. Caitlin's asked a question there. I don't know.
I'll just answer the rest of David's question, because
sorry, I jumped ahead. Sorry, David.
I don't quite remember what he said, but I think what he said was, how does he now get it removed from his account? And what he needs to do is on that email that would have been sent to him originally, giving him the details of the brand, there'll be a note on there telling him that the brand needs to send the email direct to a certain email address at Amazon. So if they can send their email saying that they're going to not take it any further, but you've agreed not to sell it, if they send that to Amazon, then that is the best way to do it. But you could send Amazon a copy of the note that you got from the brand as well, saying that they were happy not to take it any further, and see if that works. It's worth doing it. If you've got some sort of relationship with the brand and you've built up a little bit of, they're talking to you, which is amazing, which is great, then it's definitely worth seeing if you can get them to send that email. But as well, you send that email to Amazon. Mm-hmm. It's worth it. It's worth it in that situation.
Brilliant. Sue says, thank you very much. She said it's the first time that she's heard about an endpoint. So hopefully, fingers crossed, whatever way it works out for you. So, obviously we hope that it does get resolved for you, of course. Philip's just joined us. Evening, Philip. Let's go back to Caitlin's questions. She's asked about Love, Spybot Pro and Profit Protector Pro. It would be fantastic somehow if we have an updated list of red listed ASINs. Probably not so much the ASINs, but more the brand. Did ask one of the team was anyway PPP could borrow the red alert from Spybot Pro so that we would monitor current stock on PPP that are in danger, as it would be a green light at the time of purchase. I would imagine that PPP users are already Spybot Pro users, so hopefully it's a feature that can be shared. Hope that makes sense.
Yes. Okay. We're very tied down with what Profit Protector Pro can do, because Amazon have got some very strict rules, a bit like you guys have got for being a seller with Amazon. We've got very strict rules on what we can do as software providers. So there's so many features that we would love to put into Profit Protector Pro, but we can't because it breaks terms of service with Amazon. So it's not because we don't want to do it, because there's, we'd love to do some of the stuff we've come up with, would like blow your mind, some of the ideas that we've come up with, like brainstorm that we could do. And it's like, no, that's breaks terms of service. No, we're not allowed to do that. No, we're not allowed to do that. It's horrible. However, the IP alert, I don't see why that would break terms of service. I don't see why Amazon would have an issue with that. I would need to go through and read the rules and such like, and just make sure. So we have to be really careful when we design these features that we make sure we follow all the rules. But I don't see why Amazon would have an issue with that. I'd need to go through and have a look and have a think about it. But I don't really see why that would be an issue. Sure, that'd be a good thing.
I like that. I think that's a really good idea, Caitlin. I think that would be really helpful for people, because the amount of times I see in groups, not just in Secret Wealth Project, pop up, the big one was Nivea, wasn't it? When everyone was like, when Nivea turned red on Spybot Pro, everyone was like, oh my God, it's turned red. It's like the world had kind of like fallen apart kind of thing. And you know what? Some people will continue selling that. Have been selling it for years. That's their choice. It's up to them. We don't, I never encourage anyone to do it. I know you don't either, Karen, but it is up to them. It's their choice. But actually, it'd be really nice, I suppose, for people to make that choice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. I think that's a good feature, and I'd like to explore that a little bit more. So, Caitlin, maybe being that I've got a memory like, a sieve, and I can't remember what I had tea yesterday, maybe you could send that quick email to Spybot Pro or Profit Protector Pro email address, so we can make sure that idea doesn't get lost. I love that. I think my memory, we got no chance.
I think if you can make that happen, because it will only be an issue with Amazon if you can't make it happen. Kate says, such an important subject. Thanks for sharing. Absolutely. And this isn't about scaremongering. If anything, it's about highlighting the fact that talking about, it's like that taboo subject, isn't it? Talking about it more, so it kind of puts people's minds at rest a little bit. Look, do you know what? If the worst does happen, then even if the worst does happen, most of the time there's a way back anyway as well. And just that added extra, never mind the Spybot's never here to sell anyone anything. But when you've got something like Spybot Pro with suspension safeguard, or online arbitrage deals with suspension safeguard, it just gives you that peace of mind. I know Janet, and this has happened in the last 24 hours. Sorry, Janet, I don't want to keep bringing it up. But Janet messaged me last night, scared out of her wits after receiving this email. What's the first thing I said to her? Have you got suspension safeguard with Spybot Pro, Profit Protector Pro? And although it was over Messenger, I think I could literally feel her relief as soon as I kind of pointed out that she'd had that service included with the service that she had, and knowing that she was going to be supported by you and the team. And I think that I could be wrong. Maybe you want to comment, Janet, but I could be wrong. But I certainly felt her relief over Messenger that, that she was not going to be on her own during it.
She won't be on her own, and we will work with her completely. And anyone that's got suspension safeguard and has got any issue with their account, you send us an email, admin@getunsuspended.com, and we are there for you. totally and utterly. We will drop whatever we're doing to be there for you and hold your hand through the whole thing and help as much as we can to get your account reinstated. We always do everything that we can to get your account reinstated. So, just drop us an email. We are there for you. Absolutely, 100%, all the way through the process.
Cool. Great to hear. Yeah. Janet said absolutely. Hayden's asked, how often do you hear of these endpoints and people having their accounts removed from errors? It's quite rare, isn't it?
It's not as rare as I'd like it to be.
No.
But I'd like, because that's how Get Unsuspended happens. That's how the whole thing started, because all those years ago, we saw people losing their accounts, and they were losing their accounts not because of what they'd done was unforgivable, but because they didn't understand the process. And at the time, there was nothing else like Get Unsuspended, and then there was suspension services, but they're all like hundreds or even thousands of pounds. And for the little guy, like us new sellers, I was just like, well, where do we go? What do we do? Not everyone's got hundreds and definitely not thousands of pounds to spend on help. And that's how Get Unsuspended Suspension Safeguard happened, because I was like, why can't we have a service that is cheap and gives people the help to manage their own suspension, but they get all that advice for a price that anyone can afford? Why haven't we got that? We need that. So that's why it came about, because I just thought it was really unfair that people were losing their accounts because they didn't know how to go through the process.
As well, absolutely. And it was generally over something little that kind of feel really shortchanged if you'd paid £1,000 to someone to get it sorted, which in reality, sometimes it's just about saying the right word, isn't it? That it can be that small.
Yeah, and sometimes you can spend thousands of pounds and there's no getting you back your account. I've known people spend thousands and thousands of pounds and they've still not got back their account. So, it's a bit of both. But most of the time, Amazon, if they're really not going to talk to you anymore, will send you one of their lovely, friendly, naff-off emails.
Yeah, so that's good to know. Brianna said, can she add suspension safeguard to standard Spybot Pro membership? I take it that's a yes if you just email the team.
Yeah, just email team info@spybotpro.com and they'll sort that out for you.
Yeah, cool. We're never here to sell you anything on, never mind the buy box, but with something that happens like literally in the last 24 hours, it is, it's always worth mentioning to offer that kind of reassurance, because a lot of people, even people, bless her Janet, who had the service, forgot she had the service, or, so it's definitely worth knowing about, 100%.
Yeah, right.
So I think we will move on from the lovely, God, it's 7:45 already. Doesn't this time fly? And I want to talk a little bit about Europe tonight, actually, because, what a mess. What an absolute mess. By the way, disclaimer, spoiler alert, whatever you want to call it. I don't want this to turn into a political discussion. So let's keep it political free. We want to make sure we just touch on the subject. So last week, whenever it was, now I've been one of the people, I'm pretty positive actually about the whole kind of Brexit thing, or I have been really positive about it, about selling in Europe moving forward. Really kicked myself for the fact that we hadn't gone down the pan-European approach. That it actually got to a point where there was no point in doing it because we didn't know what was going to happen. And it's expensive. It's very time consuming. There's lots of these different elements about becoming VAT registered in all the different countries when you want to sell on Amazon. And so it kind of, did kick myself, speaking to all these pan sellers like Matthew Baker, Matthew Wright, Mark, all of these people, Susan Hogan, all of these people that are just going to have like this massive opportunity of selling in Europe come the next year. I always thought that pan would be that opportunity to be able to continue to sell in Europe no matter what. But as it turns out, and I don't want to go negative on everyone, but as it turns out, there was a really under the radar webinar that Amazon did themselves last week, where they kind of skirted over the fact that actually pretty much moving forward, selling in Europe isn't going to be an option for a lot of people, even pan registered sellers. And I know that that's a really massive statement to say that. And obviously this is the information as of now. If there's a deal done, it might change or whatever. But essentially, I always thought the issue with selling in Europe moving forward, and I've done a live about this, I've filmed all my YouTube videos about this week, so I'm going to go on about it, because I don't understand why no one's talking about this at the moment. This is the biggest change I've ever seen on Amazon. I was speaking to Matthew Wright last week at Elite Sellers Academy, and he's been selling on Amazon for like 10, 11 years, maybe a bit more actually. He was here for the introduction of FBA. And I was like, do you think this is the biggest change that Amazon has ever gone through since you've been selling on Amazon? Bigger than introduction of FBA? He was like, absolutely. This is the biggest change. People don't realize the impact this is going to have. You know, selling in Europe's a big chunk for a lot of sellers, kind of thing. But no one's talking about it.
Well, I think the reason no one's really talking about it is because I think there's still hope.
Yeah.
And I think that there's still potentially a deal to be done. They may well still do a deal. Amazon may well pull something out of the bag early next year, because it's not just the sellers that are affected. It will be Amazon that's affected as well.
Yeah, massively.
So Amazon will be looking for ways to do that differently, I think. I think everyone's waiting to see what happens with a deal. If there is a deal, what happens with Brexit? And I think once that is confirmed and we know exactly what will happen, then people will start to look for options, Amazon included. So I obviously, yes, it's a massive change to Amazon, and I think potentially it could be, you know, devastating to some businesses. But I do think that there will be light at the end of the tunnel. I don't think it's just a dead end. I just don't believe it's a dead end.
I don't think it's a dead end. I definitely don't think it's the dead end. I think it's one of the things that I was just kind of shocked by Amazon's denial a little bit. I don't know. Their language was really odd during the webinar.
Maybe that's because they've got something up their sleeve.
No, but this is what I mean. This is what I mean. This is what they said. They said, right, Amazon's goal over the last few years has definitely been about global selling. You know, they want anyone that sells on the Amazon marketplace to be able to sell anywhere in the world. And their whole thing is list once, sell globally. That's their new kind of tagline. And then, so the guy said it, and then and then the odd thing was straight afterwards, he was like, okay, that's not going to change from our point of view. We're still going to carry on with, you know, Brexit's not going to change anything. We're going to be able to list globally, list once, sell globally. But, and then literally 2 minutes later, he was like, yeah, we're not going to be able to do much because we don't have the data or the infrastructure in place. It was just really weird. It was a weird opening to a webinar. It was totally contradictory. And I think the issue that a lot of people didn't realize, including myself, I've been selling for some time. Before being, an Amazon seller, I had a distribution company, so I know a little bit about import and export. Not loads, I'm not an expert or anything like that, but I know a little bit about it. But I think one of the things that I essentially forgot, that even with a deal, it's not so much the trade agreement that's an issue to do with tariffs and things like that. It's the fact that a customs border will exist. That's the biggest issue. And I don't know what impact any type of deal will have on that. As it stands at the moment, a custom border will exist. And in order to get goods through that custom border, and this is from the horse's mouth, so I'm going to let everyone know this. I have done a video on this separately, but just to make people aware of what is going to be needed, you're going to need 6 pieces of information to get your goods over the customs border. The first is you have to be VAT registered. But the good news is you only have to be VAT registered in one country as opposed to more than one country, which you can do with pan-European. And you don't have to have a UK offering as it stands at the moment. That was always the rules with pan-European. So that's changed. So that's the only positive from that point of view. Secondly, you'll need an EORI number, which is like your European tracking number. So it's your identifying number in Europe to show you the movement of your goods. But not only will you need an EORI number for the UK, you'll need one for the EU as well. So you'll need 2 of those. You will normally only get those when you're VAT registered, but you can apply if you're not VAT registered. You'll also need commodity codes for every single product that you send, as well as proof of the country of origin of every single product that you're sending over the customs border. And then on top of that, depending on what the product is, you may need full licenses or certification of that particular product. And then finally, you need a commercial invoice, which from the horse's mouth, Amazon says that you should get done professionally, which will cost you anywhere between 130 and 180 pounds per shipment. So it's a lot.
That's a lot. Obviously, that's a lot, and that makes a huge difference, and that would probably take most people out of the game. But that's all depending on us probably leaving with no deal or having a hard customs thing in place, which may not be where we end up. So I just think everyone's waiting to see, because no, in my opinion, no company in their right mind is going to spend huge amounts of money coming up with ideas and plans and putting in place infrastructures when they don't know what they're working towards.
Yeah.
Because they don't know where the goalpost is right now. They're not going to shoot the goal until they know where the goalpost is. Yeah. And I think everyone's...
I agree.
So I think there will be a period of a few months next year where it is like that, and we can't sell into Europe, and there's a big gap. But once Brexit happens, I think then when we know exactly what the deal will or won't be, then that's when people will start to put in place something new, because then they'll know what boundaries they're working within. That's just my opinion. I appreciate not everybody agrees, but that's my opinion. That's what I would do if I was in Amazon's shoes. I wouldn't be doing it now because I don't know where the goalposts are. I wouldn't spend millions of pounds right now putting together something in place that may or may not mean anything come January. I'd wait and see where the goalposts were.
This is worth way too much money.
I think so.
It's worth way too much money. They're absolutely, Amazon have got to put something in place. They've got to. The fact is that people think what we lose out on what we're losing out on, but it works both ways. No one from Europe, can do exactly the same. It's not just us selling into Europe. It's, the UK is the third largest marketplace in the world. We only trail by Germany by, a tad. So it's the same, works both ways. So Amazon will not want to miss out on this. Definitely not. I completely agree that. I think from my point of view, for someone who is experienced seller, been doing this, it just shocked me. That's all. It did shock me, because I thought as long as you were pan-European registered, you'd be okay. But even so, that's not, that's not looking like the case at the moment. But I'll tell you what, those who do persevere with it, the opportunity is going to be massive, and it's going to be huge. And I just saw Philip say, in all seriousness, does this not throw up opportunities for the EU registered storage centres, prep centres for UK sellers? Absolutely. That is something that's going to be a massive opportunity to be able to do arbitrage in that country, much like, arbitrage, UK sellers can do arbitrage in the US. Purchase in the US, send it to a US prep center, much like the guys that don't live in the UK that do it here. So it just means the dynamic has to change a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
But the good news is, obviously, that's why we do things like this, and that's why we can keep everyone up to date. And rest assured, we'll be bringing people in that would be able to guide everyone along the way to be able to do this sort of thing. But a lot of uncertainty. I kind of thought, maybe naively on my part, but I did kind of thought that everything was not going to be okay, but actually it would draw a line. We could move forward. There'll be a definite decision from the 1st of January. Great. We can register for pan-European, but no,
I think people are going to start thinking about it on the 1st of January. Because they're going to start thinking about what they're going to put in place once they know what the situation is. And I think no one's going to take it until then. So I think there will be a few months of not doing it. But you've also got to bear in mind that, we're going to go back into some form of lockdown next year, beginning until March. They've said, I think, we've got these crazy tiers until March or whatever we're doing. I don't know. I don't keep up to date with it. So we've got all that going on. So you'll lose European sales, but you're potentially going to have a Q4 that might last all the way through till spring. So in the UK, so you may find that it's balanced out actually in the amount of European sales versus the amount of extra UK sales you're going to get, and we end up with a Q4 going all the way through till March with it being super busy, and potentially by March Amazon might have said, right, we're going to put this and this and this and this in place.
Yeah.
And then they're going to know exactly what happened with Brexit and everything else, know what happened with the deal with the EU. Then they're going to start to put that in place. And then maybe that will be ready to go by the time, this super long Q4 potentially might finish. So I don't think it's all negative. I think there's lots of opportunities as well, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's more a case of this is, I think, going to highlight other opportunities to other people, because Amazon is an amazing platform. It really is. You're mad if you're not selling on Amazon. But I think what it also does is it does highlight a little bit for people. I don't want people to have like shiny object syndrome and start looking at other things, but just there is other opportunity out there in terms of other platforms. Matthew Wright highlighted it with eBay and things like that. So it's time to be able to this might give people a little bit of push to maybe look to diversify a little bit, doing the same thing, but just hedging your bets a little bit. But rest assured, guys, honestly, we know the impact this is going to have on a lot of people's business, and we've been beavering away in the background, and we're going to be sort of highlighting some opportunities for people moving forward to be able to look to really strengthen their business and to be able to diversify their business in 2021, because as we said back at the very start of this, the dynamic has changed of the way that people shop, and that's not going anywhere.
No, that's only going to get better for Amazon sellers, for sure. It's only going to get better.
Absolutely. I think Philip said, could we not just move our stock to Karen Hudson's Gite in the south of France and sell from there? There you go.
Oh, if only I had one, eh? Wouldn't that be nice?
I don't know, maybe 2022. Who knows? Not with those server bills, though.
No. PPP doesn't make any money. PPP is just there providing a service. It is not making any money. It is not making any money at all.
No, just a labour of love.
Yeah, it's not even paid back what we've invested to build it. It's it's doing an amazing job, but we keep investing. So it's not making any money. So no south of France for me anytime soon.
No. There we go. Maybe we can put a GoFundMe. Let's get her on that sheet. Let's get her for everything that she does for the Amazon community. Let's get that going. Right. What I was going to say, there was a question here from Nazir. I think Matt might have answered it. Do you get Spybot Pro mobile app with the subscription?
You do. You definitely do. And the iOS app is
you know what I was going to ask. You knew what I was going to ask.
Really close now. It's getting there. It's really close. I've got it on my phone. I've got it on my phone. It scans. It works. It analyzes. It's as of today. It's showing charts and competition analysis. Got some more testing to do. Got some extra bits to add in yet. We need to add in the Google Sheet export and bits like that. But really getting there now. I'm getting excited. It's getting there.
Brilliant. And is it it's just the case of it's like, just explain to people, it's this really long process, isn't it, of getting accepted, and it's like a lot of red tape involved, and you guys never want to release anything until it's ready as well, do you?
No, absolutely. So just like the Android one is in beta at the minute, it's doing really well. We get a few comments, but 90% of the time it's working fabulously. So we will put the iOS one into beta to start with as well, and check it all out, making sure it's all working properly. So we've got some hoops to jump through yet, but we're really getting there, and we're super excited about it as well. Super excited about it.
Yeah. Cool. Good to hear that. Thanks for the update. I think a few people have been saying, Johnson said he's looking at prep centres in Germany and stores for OA. I think they've still got Toys R Us in Germany.
Brilliant. Thank you, Germany.
There we go. I think Toys R Us are still active in Germany. I could be wrong. Maybe someone let me know. But I think they are. So there we go. It could be like a resurgence of Toys R Us. What I've noticed, what he's also said, he's noticed that prices are much higher in German stores. Well, to be perfectly honest, I think with the reduction in competition. You said it yourself anyway, with you continues. I think most people that have continued selling in Europe, they've seen how much prices have increased for people moving forward. Europe's a really expensive place to buy stuff. It really is. So probably there'll be a bit of a shift. And I'll tell you what, that is something that Amazon won't like as well. If they see across the board their prices have gone up, people start talking about Amazon's not as good value as they thought, they're gonna want to do something about it.
They will want to do something about it. I really do. No, I'm a positive person anyway, but I really do believe that it will be okay eventually. It'll be all right. I do believe that.
There we go. We have Karen on more often. She's the voice of reason, 100%. Whereas I'm like, no, the world's coming to an end. It's all over, you know. But
I don't think so.
No, I think it's definitely not. I 100% know that it's not all over. I know that Amazon will do something about it. Yeah, as I said, it's just coming back to that thing of just thinking that we'd be closer than we were. But you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. Craig's asked a question for yourself. When is OAD going to source deals from EU retailers?
I think, to be fair, we're waiting to see what happens as well. So we're waiting to see what happens with January. Potentially that's something that we're open to. We're open to doing anything that works. But until we have a better idea of what the situation's going to be, I think we're just going to wait and see. And, you know, if there is opportunity come January to put something else in place, or February, or whenever it comes up, then absolutely we'll be there and we'll do it. Definitely.
Good to know. Definitely. OAD EU.
Maybe. We used to do EU deals from the UK to the EU. We used to do that a while ago. So we sourced deals that specifically you could sell on listings in the EU rather than UK listings, so that you bought them in the UK but you were selling them in the EU particularly. Yeah, we used to do that. We haven't done it for a few months, but we used to do that. But yeah, I'm definitely open to new ideas and new things happening. Always open to that.
Yeah, wherever there's opportunity, I know you guys will always investigate it 100%. David says Richard got a call from Amazon the other day pushing. And by the way, the pan-European registration offer is back on as well. That's the other bit of news. So they are registering people for free at the moment that do want to go ahead and look at it. Pan is definitely operating the same. There's no doubt about it, David. When EFN stops, Pan will continue moving forward. It's not to do with that. It's to do with what documentation and all of the 6 pieces of information that it will need to get the goods over the border. That's the kind of barrier, the limiting area at the moment. It's nothing to do. Pan will continue as normal, and the way that it's going to be set up, it's leaning more towards favouring private label sellers as opposed to arbitrage sellers. That's the issue essentially. But I've made a video specifically about that for YouTube, which will be uploaded this week. So I'll make sure I pop it in the group to let everyone know when that's up, explaining the difference between the two, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Sue said they said that they went to the euro, the prices soared, 1 DM became €1. I don't know what that, sorry, Sue, I don't know what that refers to. Maybe clarify that, apologies. So Terry says, hello ladies, we had a few people join us late. It doesn't start at 8, guys, it starts at 7. Been doing it for a year, you should know that. No, I'm only joking. It was so funny last week when Mark was on, and I think it might have been Alison. Sorry to put you on the spot, Alison. I think it was Alison. At about 9 o'clock, Alison said, see you later, guys. I'm off to watch I'm a Celebrity. And Mark was literally basically like bullied her into staying and watch it. It was sorry, I don't mean to laugh about it, but it was quite funny. Needless to say that she did stay on and watch the rest of Mark's interview. Right, I think I think he's woohooing at the Spybot Pro. Evening, Steve. Janet says, slight change of subject and interested to know if anyone else has had this issue recently. I'm having shipments closed where there is an issue due to Amazon being unable to count. Yeah, of all their money, you would think they could afford a calculator. When it doesn't allow you to reconcile and just says investigations complete, seems to be happening more frequently at the moment. And I think, yeah, a few people were saying that's the case. There's always issues with shipment reconciliations. Just a few weeks ago, everybody's shipments were going into stranded. That seems to have eased off a little bit. And now this whole, I've seen quite a few lately of Amazon suggesting that people are sending in empty boxes, actually making that suggestion.
Of course, that's a sensible thing to do.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know sometimes I'm just like speechless with some of the responses that Amazon give, but this isn't like what Karen was talking about earlier with not poking the beast. There are things absolutely you need to chase up Amazon on, and these are those circumstances where you just have to keep going on at them. You have to persevere. You have to, if you're not getting any joy from the standard Seller Central team, supply as much information in a circumstance like this as you can. Give box weights, take pictures of your shipments, take pictures of your boxes with the labels on your shipment. Just make sure you gather as much information as possible. If you're not getting any joy from the standard Seller Central team, then escalate it to the managing director team, which is managing director at amazon.co.uk. I think it's .co.uk. And if you escalate it to the managing director team, generally you get a real person. You don't get an Amazon alien, and they are more helpful in that respect. So if you've really tried a few times to get a resolution, you're not getting anywhere, don't email the escalation team straight away, because Amazon won't like that. They won't take it seriously. But if they can see a trail of, you've tried to get it resolved, you're not getting anywhere, then kind of only use that in not emergencies, but when you're not getting any joy from Seller Central themselves.
Yeah, we use that for emergencies with the suspensions as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that you and I always give that warning, because it's a bit like a hack. It's a bit like a selling hack on Amazon, in the sense that since we talk about it, more and more people know about it now. I think I was one of the first people to bring that email. You've probably known about it for a long time, but one of the first people to start talking about that as an option. It used to be jeff@amazon.com that you used to be able to email. So, but the more people use it, sometimes the less things start to work. It's like any type of hack, but it is there to be used for a reason. It genuinely is, but we don't want people to abuse it, because otherwise you'll lose it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, Kate's put up jeff@amazon.com. I think some people, when you put that one up, they're like, really? But it doesn't go to Jeff, guys.
No, it doesn't go to Jeff. It goes to Jeff's team.
Yeah. Someone somewhere, but not Jeff. Imagine, there's no way he's checking. There's no way he's checking any of those emails. So, yeah, unfortunately, there's always going to be shipment issues. You've just got to persevere as much as possible. Try and get a result. If not, send it to the escalation team. Craig's asked another question for you. Very popular tonight with Craig. Does Spybot Pro decide what the suggested sell price is? Sometimes I can see the logic behind the suggested sell price. Other times not.
Okay, so
OED?
Say that again.
Is that Spybot Pro or OED, or have I got the wrong end of the stick?
Well, let me do both then. So Spybot Pro adds in a sell price, which is the buy box price. If there is no buy box price, it will choose the lowest FBA price or the lowest MF price, including shipping. So it depends what other sellers are on the listing. So with OAD, the suggested sell price is looked at is the average buy box price over, I think it's over a year. They look at the price that's got what's happening to the deal over the course of a long period of time, and they look at the average sell price. So they'll give you the current buy box price in OAD, and they'll give you the suggested sell price. So they will look at what's happening on the listing over the course of a year. So that we want to make sure we take out. We don't want inflated deals in there, so we don't want deals in there that, you know, have been selling for £15 for 11 months. And in the last 3 weeks, they've moved up to £20. We don't want £20 as the OAD price. We want to stay at the lower price it was consistently over a long period of time. So that's what we do in OAD, and that's what we do in Spybot Pro. So I hope that's answered the question.
Yeah. And I think it's fair comment at the end of the day, because it is all objection, you know, it's all perception. You could have 5 different sellers regardless of any type of service, and they would all look at it and they'd probably all come to the same point, maybe depending on the level of experience. But even if you have 5 different with 5 different, you probably have 5 different answers anyway from 5 sellers. So it's all comes down to what you think. Yeah, absolutely, as well. So it's just a guide. Yeah,
it's just a guide, and you can make your own decision. But yeah, we look at the current, we add the current buy box price in, and we add in the OAD recommended price, and that will be a consistent price over a long period of time.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just got one more piece of very quick news to update, but it's a bit of a maybe, may not be. So it'd be interesting to see people's comments on this. Actually, it was Harminder and Andrew Shaw actually that highlighted this in the Elite Sellers Academy. So I did mention that I'd be bringing it over and mention it tonight. So thank you guys for bringing it up. Now it's actually bit of good news for those. So I know this is a real bugbear for people, is that it looks like Amazon's putting some sort of beta in place for automatic generation of invoices for non-VAT registered sellers. So this is something that I've seen it. So we contacted someone at Easy Prep. So thank you. You know who you are. And we asked them to have a look to see whether or not it was the case for them. And it was. And then we asked someone else and they didn't have it. So it looks like it's beta at the moment. So it'd be interesting to see from the comments if anyone's had the email, who has and who hasn't had the email. But essentially, anyone that's VAT registered seller, you can do the thing, I always forget what it's called, where you tick a box and Amazon will send VAT invoices automatically to business sellers. Now it's a pain in the backside for anyone that's not VAT registered, because you have to do it manually, and you have to do it within 24 hours. And if you don't do it, it contributes, it doesn't contribute to your account health at the moment, but they've put it in there, so it's gonna at some point, you know, it's gonna at some point. So the fact that if you can go through and do this automatically, yeah, good news.
Fabulous. Love it.
So yeah, I've seen it myself. I've seen it myself today. So fingers crossed. It's a case of it's just in beta. They're just testing it out, and hopefully it'll come. Because yeah, it's a real pain in the bum, and I know it's a real bugbear for a lot of sellers. And it's just one more thing that you've just got to remember to do. Obviously, the reason they do it for VAT registered sellers is because it's a legal requirement, and Amazon are responsible. Guys, it's not Amazon being helpful. It's because it's a legal requirement. I think when it first came out, everyone was like, oh, God, well done, Amazon. No, it's because they have to legally do it, and they get in trouble if they don't. That's the only reason they did it.
Yeah. Can we haven't talked about one thing we really need to talk about.
Oh, okay, go for it.
Like, really need to talk about. It's nearly Black Friday.
Yes, I know. Crazy. Oh, Lord, this week, if there wasn't enough information, if there wasn't enough going on, I mean, I made a post about it this week. It's, the only way I can refer to it is this perfect storm this weekend. It's a very unique situation in the sense that it's Q4.
Yep.
It's lockdown. It's payday. And it's Black Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, OAD is going to do bonus deals on Black Friday, and I reckon we are going to smash it out the park.
Yeah. What was it last year? Was it 80? I seem to remember.
I don't remember. I can't remember what we did last year.
How do I remember that?
We did so many. We've got like every VA working at all hours. We've got it. Everyone doing rotas to make sure we've got everything covered. So we will be on it for OAD on Friday. We will be on it.
Awesome.
All day, all afternoon, all week.
Yeah, I don't know. Aaron's just literally said anything special for OAD on Black Friday. It must have been a little bit of a delay. So just talk us through very quickly then what it will be for people that haven't experienced it, that have either got OAD or literally are going to go and buy it now because they know there's going to be a million deals to go through this weekend.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, I'm sure Black Friday is going to be brilliant. So we are going to start. We start about midnight. Thursday night into Friday morning, so we start about midnight, and then we start sourcing, and then we do bonus deals all day. So it's just bonus deals that happens all the time. They'll drop into your portal the minute we find the deal and it's checked. It will drop into your portal, and we do that consistently all the way through until we can't cope anymore. We run out of staff and everyone falls asleep. So that's what we do. So we start at midnight and we just keep going.
Keep going.
We just keep going for as long as we can until literally, we're running out of deals, we'll run out of staff, or we've just exhausted everybody. So we just keep going for as long as we can all day on Friday, just sourcing. So we've got it on shifts, on rotas, so all the VAs know what they're doing and when they've got to work, so we can make sure we've got everything covered. So everything is bonus deals, and they will start as soon as we start finding the deals.
Are you going to have anything that shows on the portal that says it's a bonus deal, Black Friday deal or something, or is it just going to come through as normal?
They come through with little pink bows around them because they're bonus. So they have all little pink bows around them. They're like tied up like a little gift.
Oh, that is, I love that. I love that. So guys, make sure you've cashed in your disbursements this weekend. It's going to be crazy. It's one of the busiest times, and obviously what I'd probably just advise to anyone now, there's still plenty of time. We've still got a good 3.5 weeks left once we get past Black Friday and Cyber Monday, because Christmas falls really nicely for online selling this year. Like I said, it's just like this perfect storm. It falls really nicely. The last posting dates fall very nicely. So people are probably going to be really busy now, right up to about the 23rd. Sometimes it's anywhere between the 21st and the 24th that sales kind of, they can start to go down a little bit. But, I think it'll be right to the end this time because of the way the dates work. So you've still got time to get it in, but also start now just slightly thinking about Q1 as well. So maybe some deals might pop up over the Black Friday, something like that. And even if you think, okay, they might not be right for now, but they might be good for Q1 because, I hate to break this to everyone. I say this all the time. Amazon's still open in January. So, and it's, I think January is going to be pretty good for a lot of people this year as well. So the important thing is, and I might do a video on this actually, or might talk about this next time. So again, I don't think people do talk about this really. I know depending on people's businesses, some people take a break in January. Some people, lose that momentum or feeding the beast. But if you can try and keep going, if you can try and keep pushing through, I actually think if you take a break in January, I think that's a bad month to take a break, purely because it's still a really good month to sell. I think you're better off taking a break in February moving forward if you're going to do it.
I think you're better off taking a break in August. Because that's the quietest
I think you are, absolutely. Unless you're selling swimming pools. Unless you're selling swimming pools. Matthew Wright, actually, his busiest month is August.
Oh, really?
It's crazy. But for most arbitrage, he runs a different type of business, obviously, on Amazon. So, but for most arbitrage, absolutely, August is one of the worst months. So have a think about it. Instead of really taking your foot off the gas, if you've got the funds, if you've got the moment, if you can keep that momentum going, because that's what Amazon's about, momentum, consistency, constantly feeding the beast. If you can keep that going, running through into January, a lot of people do take a break in January, and therefore competition sometimes can be on the lower side. Definitely.
Yeah. Let me just answer D-Wild's question, because he or she, I can't see the picture, has asked, say, being new to selling, should I get PPP and OAD right away or should I wait a while? What you should get right away is Spybot Pro. because that's the one that you need straight away, that will save you way more than it will cost you just in bad buys. So definitely Spybot Pro is the one to get. Profit Protector Pro you should get when you've got maybe 15 listings, 20 listings. I wouldn't get it before then. 15 listings, maybe something like that. Up until then, you should do it manually yourself and spend the money on stock. OAD, I would say, would be that you should learn how to source yourself first, and Spybot Pro can help you with that, doing manual sourcing. However, it might be a really good idea if you've got a big enough budget to get OAD before Black Friday. Get in with Black Friday, because I don't think it was as many as 80 last year. I think it was less than that. I don't remember how much it was. I don't think it was that. But anyway, whatever it is, we'll do our best.
Yeah.
So,
I am someone definitely that, manual sourcing, you've got to learn how to do it. It's really super important. But I've said it to a couple of people this week. If there is any time that you are going to try OAD, now's the time to try it, purely because of the level of the deals that will be coming in. But also, and Karen, I hope you won't mind me saying this, is that especially if you're newer to selling, it's like leads. It's exposing you to stores that you may not have known that you can source from. So it's giving you ideas to contribute to your manual sourcing as well.
Absolutely. I think it's a great hidden benefit that not everyone thinks about with OAD, because we source from we've got like 300 stores on our list, and although you should obviously always do your own due diligence, we have gone through those 300 stores to try and make sure that they're only stores that we're happy to suggest that people purchase from. You should always do your own due diligence, because we might have made a mistake or got something wrong, but we do try and be very, very careful what stores we add on to OAD to help you keep your account safe. So, it's a hidden benefit, because then when you see all these stores, and you can go and do extra sourcing at those, manual sourcing at those, because we might not have picked up every deal. Our VAs aren't perfect, they're human, so you can go off and find other deals. If you've got Spybot Pro, you can use the manual sourcing accelerator within Spybot Pro to go and look at those stores for extra deals as well. It's a great way of finding extra stores and extra deals.
Yeah, definitely. Perfect. So I think it's a really good way of doing it. Of Amazon is a big enough learning curve as it is. So to be able to have that extra helping hand, and there are trends within different stores. There are different sales and things like that for what of a store that may have been identified on OAD, and when the VAs and the team move on from OAD and they start looking at different type of stores, you may have picked up a store permanently that you can source from moving forward. So there's lots of different opportunity, and most definitely should be utilized in that way, especially if you're a new seller, because you'll probably hear it through the groups about some of the more common stores, and some of the more frequently sourced from stores. However, there's always little gems, or it might prompt you to look at something else, something you might have not looked at before. So yeah, definitely. I'm going to say, if there was ever time to try it, I would say now is the optimal time. Definitely.
Absolutely. And it's when we call it affectionately OAD, but it's onlinearbitragedeals.com. And if you're join, don't forget to use discount code DC67 for the standard package and DC132 for the beginners package. I think they're right. Holly was if they're not right, but I think they're right.
Yeah, someone be on there to put that on. Fahana's just said, could you just explain the difference between the basic and the pro package, please?
Yeah, there's 3 packages for online arbitrage deals. The first is the beginners package, and that includes the course from Get Ungated. So you can get ungated and get your deals at the same time. And that's the only difference between the beginners package and the standard package, because is the course. So the deals are exactly the same. The amount of deals are exactly the same. It is just the course that is extra in the beginners package. And then you've got the pro accelerated plan, which is, I wouldn't suggest you do that first. I would suggest you start with the standard one, and then move up once you've got a much bigger budget to use. And then that's the pro one. So Brianna's just asked if there's any contract with OAD. No, the minimum term is 1 month. So you just join for a month. Don't want to stay with us, just shoot us an email, let us know, and we'll cancel it for you. No problem at all. Just 1 month.
I know Philip Dyke asked earlier in the week somewhere. He said, "Can I join OAD for Black Friday?" And I said, "Yeah, it cost you a month."
Yeah, you got. It's the minimum subscription is a month, but we don't hold anybody to any contract. You can come and go as often as you want. It's fine. Do what's right for your business. We're here to provide the support, the services, and the software to support you in your business. So make it work for your business. Come and go as you like.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just about to say, it's fair to say that people do that. Sometimes they need a bit of extra help, a little bit of extra inspiration, a little bit of, or they might not have as much time as they had. So, you're happy with that. If someone wants to come and go, they absolutely can.
Of course, we're here to support your business in whatever way we can.
Cool. Adam says, please can everyone take a break in January? # thank you. Yeah, absolutely. That'll be good. Brianna says, can you just repeat those codes again? Sorry. Let me
the standard package is SWP 67. I know that one. That's the standard one.
Is it? Is that still it?
Yeah, that's still it. SWP 67 is the standard package. The beginners, I think, is SWP 132, but it might be SWP 166. I think I remember getting told off for telling somebody it's SWP 132. I think I remember getting told off for that, and it was SWP 166.
Right. It's these are the ones I have anyway. So DC 67 for the standard.
Yeah, that's fine. That will work.
Are these old ones then?
No, that will work. That's good.
No. I've got DC 189 for accelerated.
Okay, that's the top one.
Yeah, and DC 166 for beginners.
There we go. So your beginners package, which includes the get ungated calls, you use DC 166. And for the standard package, which doesn't include the get ungated calls, you use DC 67.
Right. Did I give the right ones then? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Holly's going to get them anyway, so don't listen to me. Listen to Holly.
No, I'm sure they're right. I'm sure that's right.
Holly will put them in the comments anyway as well.
That you lose your loyalty streak if you leave OAD. You do lose that. You're right. What we did, we put that in because we wanted to thank people that stayed with us for a long time, because I hate it when companies reward new people to join and don't give the same offer to people that are already clients. It drives me potty, like insurance companies. Drives me bonkers. Why wouldn't you look after your long-term clients? Why would you? Oh, it drives me bonkers. Anyway, so we don't do that.
Oh, it drives me nuts. This week's at some point, it's like a really busy week this week, so I'm not, or maybe next week, I got to ring up Sky because they've put my bill up again, and it's going to take an hour out of my day to ring up Sky to renegotiate my contract. I've been a Sky customer for 20 years. Why on earth can they not just give me one price that I'm happy with? Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Really annoying, isn't it? So we swore we'd never do that to clients, ever do that to clients. So we make sure we, reward loyalty in our clients, not the other way around. So whenever you buy one of, like, especially our new softwares, when we come up with new softwares and we do beta prices and we get people in really, really cheap deals, we grandfather them in for that forever. The price never goes up for them. So we don't then say, oh, you've got to pay more. New customers got to pay more because they didn't get in on the original deal. Yeah. But the loyalty meter in online arbitrage deals, Aaron's right, will go backwards if you pause your subscription. So the loyalty meter is where we send you gifts. So if you stay with us for X period of time, I think the first ones might be 10 months, then we send you a gift in the post, a proper gift, a proper gift in the post, in the real post, real world gift.
An actual gift?
Yes, it actually turns up at your house.
So, with a pink bow?
Maybe. So you'll get a real gift. And yes, if you leave online arbitrage deals, then your loyalty gets reset to 0 again, because obviously you're a new client. You're not an old client. You're a new client again. So yes, he's right. That does happen. But other than that, we always make sure we look after. We look after loyal clients. Always.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous, and it's crazy that you have to stay. It's like it stands you apart from everyone else. And it's crazy that not that you have to, you want to do that, obviously. But like I said, with that Sky thing, a few people have commented on that actually stands you apart from rewarding your loyal customers. It's really ridiculous when you think about it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's bonkers, there's people here today that, have been with us for such a long time, and we're so grateful to have them as clients, and we love helping support their business, and we'd always want to do our best for them. Always.
I just love Donna's comment. The real world, what's that? I don't know. None of us are in it, I don't think. Who knows? Yeah. I just want to quickly go back and then, thank you so much for your time, Karen. I know how busy you are. And I think after the 3-hour marathon last week, I think it would be good if we could wrap it up in the next few minutes. But Andrew just quickly asked, quick question on Spybot Pro. When I use the deal sheets, it doesn't bring over the source URL. I always say those letters wrong. Am I doing something wrong?
You have to put the source. You need to put the source URL in the little gap where you export to Google Sheets. So you need to copy and paste your source URL in there, because although Spybot Pro's got access to move that data into your Google Sheets for you, it doesn't have data. It doesn't have the ability to look at your source site. It doesn't have the ability to look at everything on your computer. We don't ask for those sorts of permissions. So it won't know where you're sourcing from unless you copy and paste that source URL into the front of Spybot Pro where you put your Google Sheet bit. So that's where you put your source URL, and then it will export it with the data into the Google Sheets. If you're doing that and it's not doing it, then shoot support an email, info@spybotpro.com, and they will help out, because they're a great team and they will give you a hand.
Perfect. Absolutely. Just see if there's any more further questions. But thank you so much for coming on tonight, Karen. I really appreciate it. I know I mucked you around with the dates a little bit. So thank you for being so flexible. Everyone always loves it when you come on. And it just gives us a really good opportunity to talk through, not everything also that's going on with Amazon, but also software updates, because I know so many of the people that watch this use the software. So it's really good to have up-to-date information on what's going on. And if these guys don't already know how much effort and time, and anyone that's just joined us, I'm going to pick up on what we said at the very start as well. All of the servers have just been upgraded because you guys broke it. Yeah, broke the internet, broke the bank. That's it.
We just spent £24,000 over the next 12 months upgrading all the servers for PPP. We're investing really heavily in PPP. It's gonna, it's amazing reprice. I'm very, very proud of PPP. But
just very quickly. Sorry to interrupt. Just very quickly, I think what Matt said, the queue had gone from 4 minutes to 38 seconds or something crazy like that.
Lightning quick. It's just like, wow.
Just in time.
For £24,000, it wants to be super, really, really quick.
Absolutely. But yeah, I think everybody. Adam said he did about 6k repricing last night. Hashtag orcs. Never mind. Donna says super content. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Karen. Guys, honestly, this weekend's going to be crazy in terms of sales. It's, if you think the last couple of weeks have been crazy, it is going to go nuts. I'm not sure how much stock everyone's got left or how much cash everyone's got left. But please, it's so important to celebrate your wins in the group. So please post your wins. If you feel comfortable doing it, let us all give the opportunity to say, well done, congratulations. We're here to support you in your businesses. Karen, Matt, Holly, Beck, anyone, everybody in the team, we're all here to support you. And, we know a lot of you very well, so we want to celebrate those wins with you. So make sure you post them in the week. We love seeing that, don't we, Karen?
Absolutely. I absolutely, it's my best bit. I love it. I love seeing people make a success of their Amazon business, and I'm so proud that we can help them a little bit just to achieve that. It makes me really proud.
Yeah, absolutely. Something you definitely should be proud of, 100%. Right. Gonna love you and leave you all tonight. I'll see you next Tuesday with another special guest. I'll let you know a couple of days before who it's going to be. As ever, have a great weekend, everyone. Enjoy this high. Enjoy this massive high on Amazon. Karen, thank you once again. It's been amazing. Amazing. That's been on the gin. And well, we'll see you again before Christmas anyway, won't we?
Yeah, definitely. I'll be back for the virtual SWP, never mind the buy box Christmas party. Definitely. I hope everyone's Black Friday goes fantastically, and Q4. You know, I'm really, really out there supporting you guys. Really, I'm so excited for you all. I hope you all have an amazing one. I think it goes fantastically for you all.
Brilliant. Lovely. Right. Take care, everyone. See you soon. Night.
Bye.